What's up, guys? Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you are new here and you've stumbled upon my page, I hope that you'll check me out and then consider hitting that subscribe button. While you're at it, you might as well hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date every single time I drop a new video. I'm EVE and this is the Eve Effect.
I think I started something.
All right, y'all, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna title this video yet because I feel like I am falling you guys to death with fall fragrances. But I don't know, maybe I'll call this like my top 10 picks for fall. Maybe that'll stick. Yeah. So I gave you a little bit of a teaser with the Fall for the Hype video. Then I gave you a little bit more of an appetizer with my Ready for Fall food and fragrances video. So we can call this the entree. We can call this the entree of my fall fragrances, okay? So jumping right in. In the teaser video, I talked about Resindo Parfum number 5. Okay, so this fragrance is absolutely beautiful. This fragrance is hyped and for great reason. This fragrance, in my opinion, is a polarizing scent. I don't really hear anybody that says this is meh. It's either you really adore this fragrance or you really can't take this fragrance, okay? So let me explain a little further. When you first spray this fragrance, you will be met with an intense, spicy, almost like a burnt rubbery type of smell. And others have mentioned this same thing, and it was true for me as well. So this rubbery smell that I got was very intense, but that was only on the initial spray because I found that every other time that I have worn this, the intensity of that burnt rubberiness is not there. It subsides tremendously as you continue to wear this fragrance. So this has lots of spice, like I said. It has some floral notes in here, but the biggest components of this fragrance is the amber, it's the vanilla, and it's this beautiful, sensual, exotic musk. A sensual musk. So this has floral, amber, and sensual musk as the main components, and it's very true, okay? This is a sexy, alluring, almost a hypnotizing type of fragrance. Let me tell you about the first time that I wore this out in public. And every single time that I've worn this out, I've gotten a compliment. I've gotten questions about what is that, okay? So this here is a stunner, all right? So first time I wore this out, I was on my way to a potluck, but I needed to stop at the grocery store to pick up some beverages and some other things. So I had sprayed this on maybe 45 minutes before I actually left the house. Get to the grocery store, I'm going through the aisles, securing everything that I need. And as I'm shopping, I notice a couple of people who have passed me by, right? And so I make my transaction, I pay for my stuff, and I'm out in the parking lot. So as I'm walking to my car, I hear somebody behind me saying, excuse me. And it was a gentleman. And at first, when I first heard it, I was ignoring it because I didn't know, okay? So he's like, excuse me. I turn around and he's like, what are you wearing? I'm like, did this man really just chase me out the store to ask me what I'm wearing? He said, what are you wearing? I said, what do you mean? And he was like, ma'am, you passed by me in the grocery store and I wasn't for sure if that was you, but when I passed by you the second time, it was you and you smell amazing. I just need you to tell me, what are you wearing? So I was like, Resindo Parfum number 5. He pulls out his phone. He says, how do you spell it? So he's asking me this and I'm laughing at this point. So I continue to proceed to my car to unload my cart. So after I get done unloading my cart, I walk over to him to help him find it on the internet. Tell me why he made his purchase on the spot. Online, we found the fragrance. He made his purchase on the spot, y'all. That is how much of an impact this fragrance made in public, all right? So I also made it to my potluck and I got several compliments there. So this is a stunner. You've heard many reviews on this already, but I just needed to give my 2 cents because everything that you've heard is true. But like I said, you can either get with this or you can't, because there is that note. It comes off a little stark in the beginning, but y'all, I promise you it subsides and this just turns into a beautiful, absolutely sexy, alluring, intoxicating fragrance. If you watched my vlog, I talked about another fragrance from Resindo Parfum and it's number 6. Now that one, absolute love. Okay, that one is a sandalwood and musk fragrance. This is an amber musk fragrance and both of them are beautiful, but if I had to rank them, number 6 and then number 5 do it for me. Okay, so Resindo Parfum number 5 is absolutely gorgeous and a great option for your fall sexy date nights. It's going to turn heads, period, with a T. All right, so speaking of sexy, this next fragrance, in my opinion, does an excellent job of delivering sexy during the day and running that thing through the nighttime, okay, with no problems. And that is Giorgio Armani's Sea Intense. Now, this is the 2021 version. There was a prior version in the black bottle, but this is the latest and greatest, and it's a great one in my opinion for sure. Ooh, so this is your syrupy black currant. You've also got a little greenness coming through, and that's from the patchouli and the divana, I believe. But it's also got some benzoin and some Turkish rose in here. The rose is not heavy or intense at all. That's in the background in my opinion. The biggest star and main player of this fragrance is the black currant. And like I said, it's a syrupy, slightly thick black currant, but I feel like the greenness helps cut that from being too much, too intense, or too cloying. Now I will say, in the summertime, this wouldn't be something that I would reach for or gravitate to. And I think only in the summer, honestly. I think you could get away with this in the spring, but definitely in the fall season with the cooler temps. Oh, that syrupy black currant is going to be perfect. It's going to just be beautiful on your skin, y'all. I absolutely love this one. This is the only one in my collection, and I'm not bad about it. So we're gonna keep the sexy train going, okay? So this is the Jessica Rabbit of the bunch, and y'all have heard me refer to this fragrance as the Jessica Rabbit because she's sexy, okay? She's thick, she's voluptuous, she's sexy, all right? She's got that swoop to the side, she's got the body waves, she's giving all of that. So it's got ginger in here, it's got jasmine, it's got tuberose, a beautifully done tuberose, it's got sandalwood, it's got vetiver, it's got patchouli, it's got all the things making this a stunner for fall. Now, I've mentioned this several times on this channel. I feel like, this is my opinion, but I feel like this is the best rendition of the L'Entrée, okay? The original, it's okay. The Intense in the black bottle, I want to say, it's all right. The Rouge, sexy. She's sexy, okay? I love this one. It's a great tuberose fragrance. She gives you, she turns up the heat, all right? Y'all know about this. Y'all have heard me talk about this several times, so I don't have to go into depth with this one, but this is absolutely a no-brainer for a fall time scent. If you have not gotten your nose on this, I need you to get on the train because this is the best one. So for this next one, I'm really excited to get some wear out of it once the temperatures truly get cool. So we're being teased here in Houston. In the morning, we've got some smooth, cool breezes coming through, but by the afternoon, it's back to air fryer temperatures, okay? So this one is Piano Santal from Orchestrate Parfums. I think that's how you pronounce it. But y'all, this is a sandalwood fragrance, and y'all know how much I love sandalwood. So this actually came as a recommendation from my girl Sharita M in my comment section of my last sandalwood video. So I decided to order a sample from Max Aroma. Not really a sample, it's more of a decant because it's a nice size for you to be able to wear and test out. So I got my sample and I sprayed it the first time. I said, what is this? So I got my package in the middle of work, so I sprayed it, wasn't feeling it, but I continued to do what I was doing for work. So I got on a call, I'm doing my thing, all right? So this fragrance is just sitting on my skin, marinated. But on that first spray, I was like, oh no, this is immediately no, okay? So as the hours go by, I am like, something smells really good. But by this time, I completely forgot what was sitting on my arm. Something was smelling so amazing, but I couldn't remember. So then the next day, I go back and I decided to spray and test it again. And again, I got this milky sensation that I just was not feeling. What I got from this, and I'm sorry that I'm all over the place, but I just want to make sure I'm mentioning everything that came to mind when I smelled this. What I get from this is like a fresh piece of sandalwood that has been dipped into like some carnation milk. It sounds disgusting, but when this plays off of your skin's chemistry, or at least mine, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. This, in my opinion, is not a fragrance that you should judge off of paper, that you should judge from the nozzle. And I've talked about this before with some other fragrances. This is definitely a fragrance you have to wear, because if you smell it from the nozzle, it's different. When you smell it from paper, it's different. When you smell it on skin, that's what it's going to give you. And so, like I said, when I initially sprayed it the very first time, I ain't like it. And then it evolved on my skin. I forgot that I even sprayed something on my, I forgot what I sprayed on my skin, but it was so beautiful that night when I went to shower. So this has notes of milk. It has like a fantasy note of skin. It's got cashmerian in it. It also has a note of ambroxan, which I don't get at all. I don't get any ambroxan in here. It has bergamot. I don't really get that. And I want to say it has cumin, which is a spice. I don't know that that is what's helping maybe the sandalwood smell a little fresh to me, but this is the best way that I can explain this. In the beginning, I get a milky type of fragrance, but as this starts to develop and evolve on my skin, it turns into more of a slightly sweet, creamy sandalwood scent. And that is the part of this fragrance that I absolutely love. So milky and creamy to me, two totally different fragrances. So I eventually run through the entire sample, all right? And I was like, I think I really want this fragrance. So I went back to Max Aroma to place my order, and it was sold out on Max Aroma. So I ended up picking this up from Giorgio Parfums or Giorgio Fragrances. I'm not really sure of the name, but I'll have it linked down below. Found this at Giorgio and decided, let me go ahead and place the order. If you are not aware right now, the euro and the USD are 1-to-1. So the price that I would have paid at Max Aroma is higher than the price that I paid for this from Giorgio. Actually, with shipping, I think it pans out the same. I think it was just a couple dollars cheaper, but still. So for you guys here in the States, if you happen to run across a fragrance that you have to order online from Europe, I think it would be advantageous to go ahead and secure the purchase, because now it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so you're not going to pay an upcharge that we would typically pay here in the States. So just a little FYI there. But so yeah, I ended up buying this from Giorgio. I got it. I sprayed it. The same first initial reaction that I got from my sample was what I got from the bottle. But after that, it doesn't come out as milky as it did after the first initial spray. So I don't know if there's something special about this fragrance where it needs some oxygen to kind of circulate through here or what, but I did not enjoy the initial spray from the sample or from the actual bottle. But now I am loving this one. Speaking of Giorgio Parfums or fragrances, I was able to secure another fragrance from them, and that is the Chronic from Byron Parfums. This one for me is quite unique and interesting, but I love it, y'all. I absolutely love it. So I remember when I first started my YouTube journey in fragrances a couple years ago now, I remember hearing a little bit about this, and then I stopped hearing about this at all, really. And then I went to the scent room. So I went to the scent room a couple months ago or so, and when I saw the name, I remembered seeing this on YouTube early on. So I was able to sniff it. They were out of this, but I was able to sniff it, and y'all, I was like, oh, this smells amazing. I need to keep it on my radar. So when I saw it at Javoy, I decided to go ahead and pick it up. What you get from this, what the notes say this is not what you get when you spray it, all right? So I looked up the notes for the first time right before I started filming this video. I don't know why I didn't even think to look up the notes, but I just didn't. You've got cinnamon, pepper, amber, leather, patchouli, some musk. Y'all, this smells nothing like the notes say. This comes out very sweet. It's very sweet. But let me tell you what the opening gives me. In the opening, I was getting something kind of spicy, but hot in a way. It was almost like kind of mentholy hot, but not mentholy. It was candy-like hot. And so I immediately thought of Red Hot candies. Do y'all remember Red Hots? Do they even make Red Hot candies anymore? Or am I aging myself? But Red Hots used to be a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing, but Red Hots the candy is what this smells like when you first spray it. So I guess the cinnamon and pepper on the opening translates to that. Maybe those hold true, but everything else is a no. So it comes into, once you get the red hotness from the beginning, it goes into like, I don't know, almost like a fuzzy type of sweetness. And for the longest, I could not figure out how to pin it, what to link it to. And it dawned on me a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, I was on my lunch break and I decided that I wasn't gonna make anything. I was just gonna run out and get me something quick to eat, come back home so I can make my next meeting. So I run to Chick-fil-A. I go and I get my 4-piece chicken strip meal, well done, with a root beer as my drink. Now, I don't typically drink sodas like that, but when my monthly friend is like on the horizon to come, then I'll start getting like a craving for something sweet or something like fuzzy, which is why I also keep ginger ale in the house. So if I'm gonna drink pop, it's gonna be ginger ale. But this particular day, I wanted something else, so I decided to get a root beer. So I get my meal, I come home, and crazy me, I decide I'm gonna grab my bag, I'm gonna grab my phone, which I should have just put in my bag, and my Chick-fil-A bag, and my drink, and my straw. I'm trying to carry everything at the same time so I can only make one trip out of the car and into the house. So I'm in the garage, I get out of my car successfully, I open the garage door leading into the house, do that successfully, but as I'm walking, mind you, I'm holding the drink like this while I'm holding everything else. So as I'm walking, the drink falls. Root beer everywhere, okay? So first thing I was like, you ain't supposed to have soda in the first place, so that's why this happened. And then the second thing I was like, you should have just taken stuff one by one. You knew you couldn't carry everything by yourself. Anyway, so I decide to lay everything else down on the counter and then quickly grab, you know, a wet rag so I can wipe it up so it doesn't stick. So as I'm cleaning up my mess, I get down on the floor and I'm smelling this root beer that is everywhere. I immediately said, oh my gosh, this smells like the Chronic. Y'all, I figured it out right then and there. So me spilling the root beer, I hate to say it was kind of meant to be because I figured out what this smells like. So when you first spray this, it smells like Red Hot's candy, and then it transitions into a root beer type of scent. And it's not just any root beer, y'all, because there's A&W and there's Barks. This is Barks root beer, specifically Barks root beer. And it's a root beer that is from the fountain. It's not a root beer from the bottle. You can get that same sensation, like that fresh, crisp sensation from a can, but from a fountain, it's just different. It hits different when pop comes from the fountain. And that is exactly what the Chronic gives me. I said all of that to say, this smells like Red Hot's candy and Barks root beer as this starts to develop on your skin. But I will also say that it's addicting. It is addicting. So I understand why this is part of the narcotics collection from Byron Parfums, but I'm enjoying this thoroughly. Y'all, this bottle is absolutely beautiful. I love it. To my understanding, they have changed the packaging. This kind of reminds me of the MFK bottles, but it's absolutely beautiful. The color is gorgeous. Great scent. Perfect for the fall, Byron Parfums. So this next one is a cheapie, and honestly, I think is quite a steal for what you get. And this is Jessica Simpson Fancy, y'all. This I picked up from a Marshall's maybe 2 years ago. At the end of 2019, early 2020, one of those, but 2 years ago. This is an apricot pear caramel, beautiful caramel scent, y'all, and it's a celebrity fragrance, and the only celebrity fragrance that I have in my collection, and I love it. So to me, this is a gourmand fragrance done really, really well in my opinion. So this also has some floral notes in it. It's got gardenia and jasmine, but I'm not inundated with that. I really get a vanilla, ambery, caramelly, a little bit of woodiness in here, but it's done so well, especially for it to be so cheap. If you haven't smelled Fancy, I would say, especially now with the holiday season like right around the corner, you would be able to find this easily at a Marshall's. I believe a Marshall's or maybe a Ross. I picked this up from Marshall's and it was about $20 or so, but this is absolutely perfect for the fall. All right, so this next fragrance, in my opinion, can really be worn year round, but in the fall season, it just hits a little different, okay? And that is Rehab from Initio Parfums. Now, what this gives me ultimately is this beautiful, spiced, aromatic scent. And when the cool temperatures hit this against your skin, I love it. I love it. So it opens up with lavender and some bergamot, and that lavender is not anything to be concerned about being too masculine, because I do find this to be perfectly unisex, but that lavender is well balanced with the spice and everything else that comes with this. So it's got some vetiver, it's got some gaiac wood, which I don't get a whole lot of woodiness coming from here, but it does have sandalwood, and that sandalwood, as it dries down, becomes creamy. And it's not a dense creaminess that I get. It still sits in that aromatic realm. It's beautiful, it's comforting, it's a little spicy. It serves quite a few facets, and I think this is perfect for the fall season. Now, I mentioned this in a video last year. I want to say, I guess fragrances for the holidays or something like that. I don't know. But the same still holds true this year. I am going to be pulling this out because, again, while I do find that it's perfect for year round, in the fall, it's just different. So sophisticated, aromatic, spicy, beautiful scent, Rehab from Initio. So I have another one from Initio, okay? And y'all, when I say the excitement is real to wear this, not like I haven't already been wearing it, because I have. I've been spraying this, I've been sniffing this, but absolute aphrodisiac. I'm so ready to douse my body down and go outside and just let all the people smell me, okay? So to me, this is probably, no, I'm not gonna make that claim. I'm not gonna make that claim. What I was gonna say was this is probably the best vanilla that I have in my collection. That's a strong claim, because vanilla is a popular note. And to say that something is the best vanilla, I think this is a contender, okay? Just don't fight me on this, just hear me out, all right? So this is a very addictive type of vanilla scent. It's got a note of castoreum, and castoreum is known to be an animalic note, so I get that. So if you get a weirdness from that, that's what it is, but I don't think that lasts throughout the fragrance. Honestly, I feel like that helps to amplify the sexiness, the aphrodisiac behind this fragrance. That is what it is, y'all. It's got notes of vanilla, amber, again, castoreum, leather, which I don't get the leather at all. So when I wear this on my skin, I do get some powderiness too, but it's not overly done. It's honestly, it's more sensual than it is powdery, and we love that, all right? So what I ultimately get from this fragrance is an addicting, creamy vanilla, and it just makes me want more and more and more. So I talked about Jessica Simpson Fancy and that being a gourmand fragrance and done really, really well. Well, this next one is the epitome of a gourmand fragrance done very well for someone who doesn't really like super gourmandish scents, okay? And this is New York Nights from Bond Number 9. Y'all, the epitome, in my opinion, of a very well done gourmand. Okay, do you hear me? Now, this is a caramel, predominantly caramel and coffee fragrance. It's got a lot of different florals in here, like gardenias, carnation, and jasmine. But again, I am not inundated with the floral notes in here. I mainly get the caramel and the coffee. And I am not a big fan of super intense coffee fragrances, but the coffee is done so well in this scent. This is an absolutely beautiful scent. And all last year, I deprived myself of wearing this because I was saving it for special occasions, if you will. And I really don't know why I was doing that, but I loved how this gourmand was done so much that I didn't want to wear it out by just spraying it all willy-nilly. But I am turning the page on that this year. When I'm in the mood for this, I am going to spray this, and I'm going to celebrate each day as a special occasion. And when I feel like wearing this, I'm gonna wear it. Okay, so last year I didn't spray this enough, but this year it's going to get worn out because I absolutely love this. You've heard about this several times. It's a beautiful gourmand fragrance from Bond Number 9 that I feel like is one of the best from the line. But this one definitely is worth getting your nose on and trying out if you haven't already. This is so well done and so perfect for this season. All right, so I'm down to my 10th fragrance, and I don't know if I've mentioned this earlier, but these are in no particular order. However, the 10th and my honorable mention, so these last two, they're questionable because one of them for sure is discontinued. I don't really like sharing discontinued fragrances, but I did want to share it. And then this one, I'm not 100% sure if it is discontinued, but this is Tom Ford Noir Parfum. So I've recently talked about this in my Tom Ford ranking video, so you can check that video out to get more descriptives. But I love this for the creaminess aspect that it gives. As it dries down, the creaminess just gets better and better in my opinion. It's also slightly woody, which you guys know I already love woods, but this is perfect for the fall. If you're able to get your nose or your hands on this, pick this up, okay? We don't know if it's still here, if it's gonna come back later. We don't know what's going on with this, but if you have this in your collection, you're lucky. Absolutely lucky. All right, and then my honorable mention, which I'm gonna call the dessert of this whole meal that I've given you. I've given you your snack, your appetizer, the entree. Now we've got a little piece of dessert. And this is Parfait de Roses from Lancôme. Now, I've talked about this in my birthday haul. This was gifted to me. One of my best friends was able to secure this from a retail store in Dubai. And y'all, I absolutely love this. This is a rose fragrance, a sugary rose fragrance. It's sugary, slightly syrupy. It's super sweet, but it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know why they discontinued this scent. I need to find a scent that's comparable to this and bring that on my channel because I want others to experience what this gives me. I love it. It's super sweet and it's perfect for the fall time now. So, all right, y'all. So I hope you're nice and full because I just gave you a hearty and delicious entree with a little bit of a dessert on the side. Okay, so you know what to do. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and rate me down below. Also, leave me a comment with the fragrance that you're most excited to start wearing out this fall season, okay? What fragrance do you want everyone to know you by for the fall of 2022? So until the next time, I love you all. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.